All right, we are good to go. Thank you guys for joining me today on the WAG Pod. We have Drew and Brian of the Good Boys Social Club. You all having a good day so far?
It's Friday, the sun is out, can't
Yep, of
complain. How are
course.
you today?
I'm doing good, man. Walked a couple dogs, trying or have one more tonight, but yeah, I've been really looking forward to this. So Good Boys Social Club is sort of kind of a brand and a kind of community that you guys are kind of making in California. Is that right?
Brian, you
Yeah,
want to take this
absolutely.
one?
Do you want to do it or you want me to go?
You take it
You guys
away.
can just interrupt each other as much as you
Don't
want.
We
worry
usually
that
do.
don't worry, that's gonna happen. We're trying to be polite today. We're on best behavior, whatever.
Yeah, that's
Um,
right.
yeah, I mean, Good Boys Social Club is just we're building a community. I think Drew and I came from Rivian. We spent a few years there in the early days, and I think what we really learned is just like it's all about community. And Drew and I have been friends for several years, and we were just
Right.
kind of we've been hustling, trying to figure out something to do. We're like, let's start a group of people that just want to hang out. Like we want to hang out together.
Nothing
We want to
wrong
hang
with
out with
that.
friends, and like let's just build something. What are we all passionate about? Like, and we're like our dogs.
Yeah,
So let's just start there. And like one late night, Good Boys Social Club kind of like became a thing.
definitely.
And
And how did y'all meet from the beginning?
That's a great question. So Brian and I actually worked together at Rivian and started back in like what was that, 2019,
Yeah.
2020.
What
yeah,
is
And
Rivian?
it's an electric vehicle company.
Cool.
So it's kind of like in the tech automotive space. So we
Yeah.
both worked together there.
Nice.
And we worked together for about 2 or 3 years. And Brian got a new position. I kind of pulled on his coattails to ask if I could come work for him. And that's kind of what really solidified our friendship. And
Yeah.
then we both got laid off on the same day, and we just like went to the bar and got pretty drunk and
Right. What else
drowned
is
our
a man to do,
sorrows.
right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Therapy, what's that? No,
Yeah.
but so yeah, so we kind of started our own side hustle.
Yeah.
A lot of what we're working on wasn't the right thing, and not for lack of trying, but just for lack of available resources and things like
Right.
that. So we always knew we could do something better, but we weren't really given the opportunity, so we kind of started taking our destinies into our own hands.
Yeah. Yeah. And did y'all now y'all are both still working full time on top of doing this, right?
Yep, unfortunately.
definitely the side hustle. I mean, I think, but the thing is, right? Like, I think Drew and I have always been like entrepreneurs, right?
Mhm.
Drew had a business that he started, and we just kind of always were talking about that. And I owned my own advertising agency for like
Nice.
13 years up in Oregon. I had a dog treat company, so we were always like, I think, like ultimately, we were always drawn together by the idea of the hustle and knowing that
Yeah.
like we didn't want a 9 to 5 working for somebody else. We've always
Right.
kind of just start something like fun. And I think Drew and I were connected right away. Like Drew's like that kind of guy. Like I think honestly, like the heart and soul of Good Boys is kind of like Drew's personality. Like he's
Yeah.
that guy that's always up for a beer, ready for a hang, whatever. And like I think we both just like, we're like, man, how do we find a job where we can just like hang out and have a beer with everybody, and like that's our job.
Right.
So
I think we have
Yeah,
very similar mindsets. I think that's awesome.
we're like the laziest entrepreneurs ever because we just want to hang out with our friends and our dogs and
Yep.
drink beer and drink coffee, and like we think of work kind of as play. Like we have to work our lives away. Like why not make work fun and do
Right.
it with our friends? So I think really the end goal is to bring as many passionate dog lovers together as possible
Right.
and run the world, you know?
Yeah. I mean, hanging out with friends with family, hanging out with dogs, and having some beer is you're speaking my language right now. So
Yeah, well,
y'all started to have a couple of different events. I was checking out your website before this.
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, like I said, like the core of like what we're doing is like we really want to build a community. Like honestly, at some point we got to figure out how to monetize this thing, but like
Right.
at the end of the day, like it's about building a community. So we had an event back in March, was just kind
Hmm.
of our first one. We had a
Yeah.
local pub that was like super excited to have us in. We had a
Cool.
a bunch of people there, a bunch of dogs. It was just a super fun hangout. And
Nice.
then we're like, oh crap, this is kind of cool. It works. Let's do another one. So
Yeah.
we've got one coming up uh like Saturday.
tomorrow.
It's gonna be super
Yeah,
killer.
Hey,
And then we're gonna do
maybe
another
I'll
one that
fly California way and
yeah,
come
come on
yeah,
out.
out.
And then
Weather's great.
we got another one coming up in a couple weeks, which we're gonna try a little something different. We've got a
Yeah.
friend that's got a little coffee pop up, so we're gonna
Hmm.
do a canines and coffee hangout.
That's awesome.
We've partnered with another local business that's got a great space for us, and so that's
Right.
gonna be super fun. We're really pumped about that. And then probably in June we're gonna start doing something that's like I think we're just like how do we get outside and be like more active too, like not
Sure.
just sitting around
Not
drinking
just
beer all the
drink beer.
time. So then I think we've got some plans for just like evening like walks, right? Like
Yeah.
let's meet up at this place. Like there's a cool like trail. Like let's meet up, something chill, like meet with a bunch of people, do a quick like, out and back and come back and see what
Yeah.
happens after that.
How has it been getting people to kind of come to your meetups and everything? Because I'll say this, we do like Wagworks monthly meetings. We go to this places like this wine bar in Louisville called Incendiary. And so we go there, but
Nice.
oftentimes it's right now what it's been, and it's about consistency, right? And keep doing it.
Yeah.
But oftentimes it's a lot of friends and family, right? And so has that been mostly y'all's experience, or have you found like other people who heard about the Good Boys Social Club and they want to get involved as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of started with friends and family, but our friends and family are awesome and they like to talk about us. They like what we're actually building because at the
Yeah,
end of the day, we always consider ourselves as like pretty normal dudes. And
yeah,
if we have a taste or like a passion for something, we know that we're not snowflakes and there's other people like us out there that want to get involved too,
right.
have the similar ideas. And we just kind of put it into the works. And so our friends and family show up for us, which is great. We're super appreciative of that. And then just kind of by association, people see us out or they'll see our hats and kind of ask us about it and they'll
Yeah.
get involved. Just yesterday, Brian and I did some like really down and dirty guerrilla marketing and we went around the neighborhood and swallowed our pride and put up flyers, like paper flyers around our
I saw
neighborhood.
that on your story actually, and like my dad has been on me about like, hey Richard, why don't you go put up posters? Right? And I saw that, and the wheels started turning. I was like, man, I need to do
Yeah,
some of that. I need to like look
it,
up like
like
where you can put them. I don't know. Do you just find a
yeah,
random post and like,
We literally just went gorilla. We're taping stuff up. Like, let's put this on this poop bag dispenser. Like,
yeah,
whatever. We might get in trouble. We don't care. Like, whatever.
right?
We're just
yeah,
gonna go
It'll
for
be
it. Like,
fine.
that's one of
yeah.
the
We're gonna
rules.
go take them down though. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, one of the rules of Good Boys Social Club for Drew and I is like no pride, no ego. Like, there's nothing we're not willing to try, like to make this thing work. And I think like we started to see the fruits of our labor, right? Like, I mean, honestly, I was just looking at some of the things. We got somebody that VIP'd to like the cars and coffee this morning, and I'm like,
nice.
I know that came from I
Canines coffee.
100%
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that came from the flyer. Like,
yeah, yeah.
and I think we've been really, I mean, we haven't been doing this for like very long. We like
Mhm.
officially started in January, but
Okay,
like we were just looking at some of the demographics and some of the data last night, and like we're really starting to see like I think it's always like a high five for us when we're like, oh, dude, neither one of us know that person. Like they just
Yeah,
signed up
right.
for our email list, or like we got a new follower or whatever. Like we've really been able to like we've been really active on like Instagram. Like
Yeah,
Drew and I's daytime jobs are marketing, so like that's
right.
what we do on a
Do
regular
y'all,
basis.
Drew? Do you run the Instagram?
we both
You
do.
both do? I gotta give
Um,
it to you guys. It looks really good. Like the branding and everything y'all do. You do a really nice job.
Thank you. And I think that's one of our biggest pain points is coming up with content because like we both have worked in social media and we understand it really well, but like content creation is just the bane of our existence because I hate
Yeah.
being on video. I hate making videos.
Yep.
I like being behind the camera. I'm a photographer on the side, so that part's easy for me.
Sure.
But Brian and I like have to spitball all the time, and we'll be like, all right, let's just try this and see if it works, and if it doesn't, like how can we do it better next time?
Right.
So we've had a ton of post flop, but we're both like, whatever. We got some eyeballs on it. That doesn't really matter right now. We're not super concerned about vanity metrics. We're just kind
Sure.
of testing and learning, and like we're at the end of the day, like we want to make content that actually resonates with our audience.
Right.
So we're kind of letting them guide us and tell us what they want to see from us.
Right. I mean, I think that's a really good way to go about it. I mean, I wish I had someone that could help me run the Instagram, but I just have to, do it myself. But
Yeah.
kind of similar to that, I was just getting some feed because early on when I started, it's the same kind of thing. Not really sure where you're going and a couple different directions, but it was kind of like hey, do I want this account to be a dog of the day account, or should I start mixing some
Hmm.
other like informative stuff in there? And so I've started to do that, and that's hard to do, and you have to be mindful about it. But I like how you're kind of using your clients and your community as guardrails for that. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we definitely dabbled in the dog meme kind of like posting kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And sadly, I don't know if sadly, like it's like it some of it performed really, really well. But like when we took a step back, we were like,
Mhm.
is this really what we're building? Are we really building an Instagram for
Exactly.
dog pictures or dog memes? And then we're like, no, that's not what we are. That's not like
Right.
we kind of have a playbook that we built early
Mhm.
on in terms of like core principles of who we want to be and what we want to stand for and
Sure. Do you wanna
again
kind of
it's
share a couple of those about what those principles
um
are?
yeah, I mean like I think like we kind of have 10 like rules of the social club, right? Like dogs are family, right? What else is there? There's like shit, you caught me off guard
be
there.
I
good, do
caught you. I
good
caught
is
you
a
in
Yeah,
big
there.
be
You
one.
got
good.
there.
Yeah, be good,
Yeah,
do
yeah.
good, right? Like some stuff like that, but like also just like at the end of the day, it's like we always come back to the fact that like we're building a community. We're not like, are we going to have products someday? We are, but we're like in
Well,
this
you
like
already got some good
listening
looking
phase.
hats right there.
Well, yeah, I
Thank
mean,
you.
look,
Thank you. Shut up.
we want to test the branding. Like we're creatives, we're marketers, we're social media guys at heart, and so like we're like we need to test the branding and see if it like feels good. So
Yeah.
that's what the hats are. Like not like we're just super like oh, we're gonna be a hat company. That's not what we're
Right.
going to be. We will have some products because like I said, we have to monetize it someday to like be able to do these meetups and things like that. We've got to
Sure.
find ways to like do them and stop just spending money on them. So
Right.
we're gonna have a
So
community
are
on the
you all
back end.
spending money? Like if someone comes to your meetup, what does that kind of look like? Are you reaching out to these places? Are you like renting it out, or is it they just let you use the space?
Good question. So we're kind of trying to go where our community likes to hang out.
Mhm.
And so we're we got a couple spots that we hang out at pretty regularly. So we've been fortunate enough to be able to kind of just tap into that and show up and they'll host us.
Yeah,
Because it brings them business too, which is great.
exactly.
But this Canines and Coffee event, it's like again, like we want to do something that will help like all of our friends and us
Yeah.
and like bring everyone together. So we have a coffee uh vendor slash friend that's coming
Mhm.
out and transparently like we're covering his overhead
Sure.
and then he's gonna just make some money on top of whatever coffee he sells.
But you know what's nice about that too is that you're getting to bring business to your friend. And like I think that's something that I definitely align with you guys. Like the coolest thing about, working or creating something on your own is when you're able to collaborate with friends and work with your friends. And
Yeah.
that way, like each day it's something to look forward to, new conversations, everything like that. So that's awesome that you're all doing that. I was looking at your website. I saw the go bag. Do you want to kind of share a little bit about how y'all came up with that? I like how it looks. It looks clean.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so I have two dogs and I'm not the best dog owner in the world, to be completely transparent. Like they're not nearly as disciplined as they should be. They can get a little like leash aggressive, so we
Sure.
gotta like really kind of be intentional on where we walk and who we walk with. So there's no like outbursts of rage from my one dog that likes to bark at everything that
Right.
moves. And so I always kind of felt myself like fumbling with all of my stuff. Like if I had like their poop bags that we got to tie to the leash or get one of those like little dispensers, like they always have kind of sucked and not worked. Or like holding my phone or a water bottle or like whatever. I
Yeah.
kind of always have my hands full and my wallet. Or if we want to go to like let's say a brewery with them, like
Sure.
it's really hard to just keep all your stuff in one place.
Right.
So we kind of came up with this concept of like, let's develop some kind of crossbody bag where you can kind of be more attentive to your dog and like put
Right.
treats in there, put your phone and store everything you need. But so when we started kind of going down that path, we started looking up and like comparing other brands out there,
Mhm.
but there wasn't really kind of a one-stop shop that would serve like what we're kind of looking for.
Sure.
So it took a lot of like process and ideation and sketches to kind of get to where we are today with the go bag.
Right.
So it's kind of just like a functional bag that's stylish and
Yeah.
at least we think it's stylish. So
I think it's
we're getting it
stylish.
out in the
I
I'll
market.
give
mean,
you guys that one.
Thanks, man.
like I
Thank
think
you.
part of it too, right? Like we didn't want something that was like pink or purple or
Yeah,
whatever. I
Sure.
think a lot of what we saw out there was just a little too like
It's like
in your
catered to
face.
more like the female audience.
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, definitely. Like we
Yeah.
wanted stuff that was, I mean, honestly, like that was like the original intent, but what as our like wives started telling us, they're like, don't be that way. But we're
Yeah.
also like, hey,
yeah,
like we want stuff for us. Like there's lots of stuff out there that you guys are buying that like fits your style or whatever. But I think we found like at the end of the day, like the more we designed it and thought about it and we're
Right.
really intentional about like the features and the styling and stuff, like we feel like we found something that like really fits both genders. Like it's
Definitely.
we're
yeah,
not being exclusive. That's not who we are as a brand.
Right.
Like we're all for everybody. Like Good Boys Social Club is like it's like more of like your good boys, your dog, not
Right.
like
Of
good
course.
guys, right? Like it's
Yeah. Yeah.
about
Yeah.
like community. So but the
yeah,
bag at the end of the day was like supposed it was like we really were thinking about something that we would want to carry because if we would want to
Exactly.
carry it again, like we're not special, we're not unique. We're just two guys with dogs and friends that want to
Yeah.
hang out.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I think just echoing what Brian said about like Good Boys and how we came up with the name, it's like, like internet vernacular, people were just calling dogs Good Boys, like
Yeah.
regardless if it was a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
And so we kind of always like thought that was funny and that was something there. So we get questions all the time, like, what about good girls? What about good girls? Like, and we're
Yeah.
like,
You're like,
hey,
come on.
good good girls are welcome. Like it's a community at the end of the day. Like
Right.
Brian said, we're not exclusive, but the core principle is like we don't care if your dog is a girl or a boy as long as you're cleaning up its shit.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good motto to have, you know? And I mean, I remember we talked, did y'all like go through ChatGPT a bunch and try like a bunch of different names out? Was that right? Or did you were
Yeah,
telling me that story, right? What
yeah.
happened with
So
that
that
again?
was funny. So we were like, okay, we knew the basic premise of like what we wanted to be building, and we're like, now we have to have a standout name. So we were just going into all these GPTs and coming up with like different brand names. So we had like thousands of brand names, and we'd
Yeah,
be like, no, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, change the parameters, change the prompts, and everything was like skewing too far one way. So it
right.
was like we were getting stuff like the houndsman and like corny stuff like that. We're like, that
Right.
doesn't fit the vibe.
That's
It's
pretty
like,
cool though. You get
and
that's
then
your you guys need to get like a sports team and call them the Houndsmen. That's interesting.
yeah. And
That
then
would be
we had
sick.
like salty paws or like whatever. Because like we're founded in Orange County, California, but we don't
Mhm.
think of ourselves as like an Orange County beach brand or anything
Right.
like that by any
Right.
means. Like we want to have additional legs.
Yeah, and
And
that's
so
definitely
we
not
just
the
kept,
vibe that you kind of because I mean if I was just looking, I wouldn't have necessarily been like, hey, that's California for sure. Like you guys have your own brand that you've spent a lot of time developing for sure.
oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah. So it's just kind of, we kept humming away. It took us a couple weeks. And then one day I was like getting into bed and I was like, it's Good Boys Social Club. And
Yep.
Brian goes, yep. And then he goes, all right, let's secure the domain. And then like 10 minutes later, we had our domain. And we're like,
Yep.
all right, we're rolling.
You're good to go from there. So are
Yeah.
y'all like an LLC or a sole proprietorship, or I mean, is it something where you even need to file in terms of a business?
We've done all this stuff, right? Like we're an LLC, we're a
Mhm.
partnership, set up as a partnership right now. I mean, we might change someday if we like start actually making money, but like at this point, it's more just like having the corporate structure around the business so that we
Sure.
can do the
Yeah.
things we want to do, whether it's sell hats or have an event or, all of the like
Permitting
this
stuff.
all we talk about this all the time, right? Like when you start a business, there's so many things that like become noise or roadblocks or stop you from
Sure.
continuing on. I think
Like the government.
so we always talk about, okay, that's just noise or whatever, but like all the minutia shit that you don't ever want to think about, right? Like your
Right.
domain name and your LLC and like your bank account and like all of the stuff,
Your
like
PO box.
the
Oh
PO
yeah.
box. Oh my God, we still don't have that sorted out.
Nah, you
Um,
don't need a PO box. You don't need
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. You don't need
like
mail.
all that stuff, like insurance and like all the time, like Drew, like we joke, yeah, we're the laziest entrepreneurs in the world, but also at the same time, like I can't tell you how many texts I have from Drew at like 10 o'clock, or just having like a stream of consciousness about like,
Yeah.
oh, we need to fix this, or we need to update the website, or like we need to do
Right.
that. Like we're bootstrapping ourselves, like nobody's giving us money or like whatever. Like we're just literally self-funding this
Right.
journey that we're on. So at the end of the day, it's like we could probably pay somebody and might go faster, but also like we're not. we're just trying to figure it out and do it. And
Right.
every day we make little bit, make a little change.
Right. Exactly. I
Yeah,
think it's a good
exactly.
way to look at it. Sorry, Drew, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say it's just like it's fail fast, and so the stuff that Brian's talking about is like the most painful crap that we don't like. It's just like, managing inventory,
Right.
finding out how to fulfill products out of my garage, which is our fulfillment center,
Yeah.
and like all of that stuff that just occupies so much time when really we're like we just want to go hang out with our friends and our dogs.
Right.
And
Exactly.
so
You're doing the
it takes away a bit
legwork
of
to
stuff.
be able to do that, right? And build that community. I mean, it's a very good idea.
Thank
So
you.
how is it like you feel more motivated when you have a partner to work with? I mean, either y'all can speak on it, but I guess for me personally, I'll say like having someone who my partner Kellen, like having that I'm work it gives me something to be excited to share like with him about, or like, hey, like we just got this done, or finish something else. And
Yeah.
also provides different perspectives. So do y'all want to maybe share a little bit about it? The perks of having a partner on with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's no way I could do this without Brian. We give each other a ton of shit, but we push ourselves and
Right.
push each other. And we both we're really good about balancing responsibilities. Like we have complementary skill sets, but also differentiated skill sets. Like he's kind of the tactical thinker and he gets in the weeds and can like go figure shit out all the time. Like
Right.
I'm like, oh, we got a website problem, and Brian will be like, okay, I'm gonna go figure this out, and we'll like just drill in and like yell and punch a wall a lot, and then he solves the problem. And I like to think kind of more big picture
Mhm.
and do like some of like the creative, and like Brian said, I'll text him all the time at like 10 or 11 o'clock or when I can't sleep, and I'll be like, oh, I got this idea, we should do this. And
Right.
he's like, okay, yes, let's figure out how to implement it, or like vice versa.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'll definitely say like a partner is really, I think it's awesome. I think I had my own advertising agency and I had a partner and it was great and we needed each other. And then when I stopped doing that, I had a ton of people that always wanted to partner with me or had an idea to start something up, but I felt like they were always coming to me to tell them how to do what I had done in the past.
Right.
And Drew was like kind of the first guy that ever came to me where I felt like he was going to be a true partner and like he legitimately is, right? Like when I'm like kind of like fuck, I don't want to do this
Yeah.
anymore and
Yeah.
like I'm bored or like I'm like annoyed or whatever. He's like, "No, dude, okay, here's the five things you have to do this week or
Right.
whatever."
Yeah.
And like he keeps me accountable. Like I think same way, right? I'll like on Monday morning I'll be like, "Hey, here's the things we have to check. Here's the boxes we have to check." Or like when
Right.
Drew's like kind of at wit's end on something or whatever. I'm like, dude, that's just noise. Like, don't
Yeah.
worry about that. We're gonna like we'll just fix this. We'll deal with it or whatever.
Sure.
I think it's also good to have somebody that can tell you no, that you're not doing it right or you're
Right.
going down the wrong rabbit hole or whatever. And I think we're both pretty good about like being like, I disagree with you, but and here's why, and then we'll kind of like decide like how we want to move forward. So
Yeah.
like, and sometimes you're just like, okay, like I don't know if I need to worry that hard about that. Let's just do it and try it and see what happens. And sometimes you're like, no, I'm gonna like dig in or whatever. And I think having that relationship where you can like be like kind of fight and unite or, lift the other guy up when he's not feeling it or whatever. I think that's like kind of what's important about the partnership.
100%.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
well
and
said.
like
Yeah.
Brian said, like a lot of people will come to you and be like, "Oh, I have this idea, we should do it," and then you end up doing all of the work.
Yep.
And so that's very much not how we are. And I think it's great to hold each other accountable. To Brian's point, like one of us will just be completely over it one day, and
Right.
then we haven't run into too many instances where we're like both completely over it, which is great. And so we'll kind of just have to lift each other up and like ground ourselves, and like we're also really bad at celebrating wins.
Mhm.
So like if you look at how much progress we've made in 5 months, it's like astronomical while we both work 50 hours a week.
That's
And
insane.
we both have wives. Brian has two daughters. And so there's just a lot to balance with just doing this thing. So again, like I would not be able to do this by myself, nor would I want to, because like that's not how I kind of look at life. Like I don't think of myself as like ever in the center stage. I don't like being in the center stage. Like I like to just spend my time with my friends and get shit done.
Yeah. So working like 50-hour week jobs, how many hours a week are y'all able to kind of spend? Because obviously like with wives, you can't just be like, stop talking right now. I need to go call Brian, or you know what I mean? Like you got to live your life
I
and
mean,
you
we're
go
both
through.
we're both lucky. Like
Yeah.
Drew's wife, my wife, like kind of know who we are at our core.
Mhm.
So like
Yeah.
they've already kind of bought into like our who we are. So like they kind of get it, right? Like I mean, I've been married for a long time, so my wife exactly knows who I am, and she's just like, yeah, go do your thing and supportive of it and
Yeah.
stuff. But like, I mean, I think we both kind of have like a handshake agreement that will make sure we put, at least 10 hours a week into Good Boys
Right.
right now.
Yeah.
Because we have a
Yeah.
goal, right? Like both of us don't want to be working at our other jobs. We want to be doing this full time. And the only way we can do that is if we hold ourselves accountable to that minimum. So there's weeks where we both are like, we're gonna just let things happen this week and take a breather because like I also know like if you put too much into it, like you kind of just run into a brick wall. Like the other night, Drew was working on a social content piece and he's just like, I'm just not hitting it. And I'm like, dude, just put it down. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll figure it out. And like
Yeah.
we ended up coming up with two ideas that were really cool, and we'll figure that other one out later or
Right.
whatever. I think we just like both recognize because we've done it before that you can burn yourself out but
And this
like
isn't
yeah, I mean
something you want to burn
really
yourself out on
both
either,
of us are
right?
we're
Dogs and
both
Yeah.
family and friends and beer, you don't want to burn yourself out on that.
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
but
yeah.
we're also both the kind of people that like, when everybody else is sitting around watching TV or whatever, we're just like sitting there with our laptop, like grinding through something, right?
Sure.
Well, just like I'm gonna finish
Yeah.
this tonight, like whatever. My wife goes to bed, I'm just gonna stay up till whatever and do this. Or we'll like, okay, I'm gonna come over after work, we're gonna spend 2 hours, we're gonna do these three things. We usually end up doing one of them because we both go down some weird rabbit hole, you know.
Get sidetracked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think adding to that too, it's just like Brian and I are just like natural thinkers. Like I can't sit still. I have ADHD, which is just like a blessing and a curse because it takes me forever to get like one task done and
Sure.
I'll
But
go
you can
like
have
get
like eight
sidetracked.
tasks going at once and work on it a little bit.
Yeah, literally. Exactly. That's kind of how I work. And so like when my wife and I like watch TV, like I'm usually sitting there tinkering on something with my laptop, or it's like when I come home from work, like I need to keep my hands busy because I just am incapable of sitting still. Like I'm
Yeah.
always on the go. My calendar is always full. And so I think that's why like I need to fixate on something like this
Sure. Sure.
because it just helps like occupy my brain and like challenge me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I'm very much the same way in that sense of like,
Yeah.
and the good thing is like when you have a bunch of different projects going on, but it's something that you truly care about and it's your brand. I think that, when you get tired of one, you can go right to the other, and it's all a positive feedback loop. And every single step you take, it kind of builds up your brand and furthers your reach for the community. Um, so what is kind of, I know we've talked a little bit about potentially monetizing. Do you guys have any like kind of big picture down the road? Like let's say, I don't know, September, October, or just November, December. Like what do you guys have in mind for that?
I think like what's front and center is being able to do this full time, but we have a lot of work to do to get there.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, that's kind of the biggest goal for right now. And like we're kind
Sure,
of looking at, 10 steps in front of us versus like 2,000 steps in front of us.
sure,
I think
sure.
I think long term we want to build this up enough to kind of figure out like do we want to keep expanding or do we want to sell? But we don't
You don't
have
have to
the
answer
knowledge
those
base
specific
to
I
questions
mean, I think
right now.
like
yeah,
if we talk about this year, right? Like it's really about getting our audience dialed in, right? Like it's
yeah,
really about getting our community built, right? So like we have some performance goals that we've sort of set for ourselves. I'd say like transparently, we're a little bit behind on like what that is, but we're also doing really well.
Right.
Like there's some things where like, man, that's like 10 steps ahead of where we should be in May. That one's not quite
yeah,
there. Why not? Well, it's probably because we haven't spent any time on it or whatever. So like I think we're really trying to get our audience built.
Sure.
Like the first month or two was obviously friends and family, like that were following us or that were signing up for stuff or bought our hats or whatever. And then like now we're in this kind of phase where we're just like listening and learning and like trying to figure out how our audience can grow. And we're starting to see like now we're starting to see incremental growth and like what our Instagram looks like. We're starting to see like sort of like growth in like our email list and
Mhm.
people that are signing up for different things. We're just starting to hit like on getting like a nice cadence for our events and stuff like that.
Sure.
Um, like all of those things are like the goals for this year, right? Like we
Right.
really want to get the block and tackle stuff dialed in. And like I said, like our core focus in 2025 is really about our community and our audience.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe getting a PO box along the way, right? That would
I
be.
mean, I refuse to do that
Eh.
one for Drew. That one's Drew's responsibility. That's on him.
Dang it, Drew.
If he can't figure out how to get a PO box, man, I don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah. It's gonna absolutely liquefy the funds at this point.
Yeah,
So,
I know. Just call
so
it a day.
apart from like kind of, yeah, you're talking a little bit about growth, like, and you have email lists, like Instagram kind of interactions, and then, hat sales. What other kinds of metrics and things are you like y'all doing to keep yourselves accountable, as you continue to grow?
Um, I don't think we're overly f fixated on our numbers right now.
Mhm.
It's more about like testing and learning. Like again, like we'll make a piece of content and it'll flop like more often than it's
Yeah.
successful, to be completely transparent, because like we don't know what our audience wants to see. But I think we're also looking at like, are people showing up to our events? Are non-friends and family
Yep.
signing up for things or transacting with us, or however you put it? Like, and that's what Brian said earlier. The most like rewarding thing is like having people like recognize our hats, or seeing our hats out in the wild, or having strangers show up to our events. Like that's kind of our goalpost right now. And we're looking to like continue to grow that component.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like both Drew and I worked in social media too, right? So, and we've been really specifically only on Instagram, like
Mhm.
from a social media perspective. So, like, we're really like trying to make sure like we have solid engagement,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, it's a bit of a vanity metric, but we are trying to grow our audience because, like, I think that will help get us over the hump. But we have really solid engagement across all of our posts for the most part,
Nice.
right? Like, people are liking, sharing, and commenting. And we do look at that stuff, right? Like we're going back and looking and seeing like, oh, okay, well that one just I want nice views, but whatever. Or what are our non-followers starting to
Sure.
do? Is it starting to get served the right way? All that kind of stuff from a social media perspective. I
Definitely.
mean, honestly, social media is my stupid full-time job. So like at the end of the day, like, I spend way too much thinking about that. But I think like what's really fulfilling right now is like we're starting to, like I said, we're starting to see like growth in like our email list.
Yeah.
That's like kind of
Yeah.
it's organic, right? Like it's coming from the work we're doing in social media. We're starting to see people sign up for like our go bag is about to like release and stuff. We're seeing like we've got a really nice growth in our like that email like that VIP list.
Yeah.
Like we're like okay, and they're almost all people that we don't know, which is pretty
That's
rad.
very cool.
We're getting
Yeah.
really good engagement, like when we send out emails, like we're tuning that, like what's the right kind of content, what's the right cadence for sending emails to the list, like what do they want to see, like where's the value add? Like I think at the end of the day, like it's really easy to just like send content, but I
Sure.
think we want to try and send content that's like value add, whether that's like it's funny because Drew and I are really really funny.
Yeah. Funny
And
guy.
or educational or like I think like the end of the day, right? If you're not adding value in what you're doing, then it's not going to ever perform for you.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
So what kind of content are you sending out on those emails? And is it like kind of a newsletter or are y'all doing like weekly emails? What does that look like?
Uh, well, we definitely don't have a great cadence for it because that's one of
No, we
those
don't.
things that we haven't spent a lot of time focusing on.
Mhm.
I mean, early on, we were just sending out stuff that was just like, "Hey, welcome to the club. You're in part of it, whatever."
Let's
Now it's
go.
really
They're
about like,
opening it like, yes, I made it in the club.
yeah, welcome to the club, right? Like
Yeah.
the easiest thing to join is Good Boys Social Club.
Yeah.
Like literally
Yeah.
sign up for the
Yeah.
newsletter, come to an event, follow us on Instagram, you're in the club.
Yeah.
It's the bar is
You made
low.
it.
It's like a zero cost entry. But yeah, I think we're just starting to like figure out like, hey, like we're starting to do stuff like what are places you can go in Orange County with your dog, right? Like and finding partners that we actually like places we want to go. Again, we have places that we hang out all the time, but like there's other
Yeah.
places and Orange
Yeah,
County's
not just the
weird.
one
Like,
local pub that you guys love, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, if you want to go to the Goose, like that, you'll probably find Joy there on a regular basis, or the
Yeah,
Helmsman.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but also like place, not everybody like is dog friendly too, right? Like the beaches are kind of weird here, the trails are kind of weird here.
Mhm.
So finding those kind of places and things like that. I mean, also just sharing more about like our story, right? Like why are we doing this? Like how did we meet? Like, like why did we design? Like why did we put out the go bag? Like let's talk about like let's pull back the curtain. Like we're not rocket science here. This is what we did. This is how we
Sure.
came up with it. But like again, we're both kind of like closet designers, closet creatives, like, but we're not creatives, but we are. So
Right.
like, but we're really intentional about like our hats, right? Like when you look
Sure.
at them, they're not just off the shelf. We didn't just put embroidery on them. Like
Yeah.
we like designed every piece of that. When you look at the go bag, right? Like we tested it. We're like, no, this strap sucks. Like we found the right like clasp and buckle and like we obsessed over the zipper and like stupid stuff like that is like at the core of like who we are. So we're really talking about like kind of like that kind of stuff right now. I mean, I think we'll get more into like places to go and travel and you know, just
Sure.
stuff
Yeah.
like
Sure.
that.
I mean, I 100% feel the authenticity. And I'm sure like I bet it's a really good feeling to see like that VIP list fill up and it's not just like both your moms and your wives and like
Yeah.
it's starting to
Yeah.
gain traction and I mean, I think you guys are going about it in a very good way. I think the
That's good.
community first feel and kind of yeah, I think it's great, like you said, to have that ultimate goal of, hey, this is something I want to do full time. But it's nice that you're not like boxing yourself into one place, right? You can do meetups, you can do selling hats, you can design new products. There's a lot of different ways you can go. And I think y'all are doing that. It's a jack of all trades and master of some, right? I think, you know,
Definitely master of none yet.
Yeah. Right. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
you could
And
say it. We
going
haven't
off
mastered any of it.
and going off of that, like one of the beats that's especially important for us is giving back to the community.
Sure.
And so I do want to focus some events around giving back to like local shelters or
Nice.
getting the community to go walk dogs at shelters or spread awareness for dogs that need to be finding their forever homes. We actually have someone tomorrow that I'm really excited to meet that
Hmm.
has a dog that she's fostering, and
Nice.
so we're gonna give that dog some attention tomorrow and introduce it to the fine folks at the event or who are just
Yeah.
hanging around, and hopefully we can find that dog a home.
Yeah. Always got to have some philanthropy going on as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's
That's
important to give back, and I
it
think that's
is.
kind of like part of who we are.
Yeah.
Well, and you're using that community focus and not just like, hey, come out and hang out, but like you're actually getting kind of, a little bit of elbow grease and getting involved in making a difference there. So I think, yeah, that's amazing. So we have about, I don't know, a minute and a half left. Do you guys want to leave on a note of anything coming up that you guys are really excited for? I know you have your meetups, but yeah.
Um, yeah, I think for our audience, like we just want feedback and we want to hear like what is important to you and what you value from a community, whether that's your school, your gym, your church, if you will, like any kind of communities that you're in. We want to understand like what you like about it, what you don't like about it. I think just to plug the Go Bag, it's a really thoughtful and intentional product that we're excited to release.
Yeah.
And if you enjoyed the vibe, come join us.
Yeah. I love it.
100%. Come to a meetup. Sign up for our
Yep.
newsletters. That's the way we tell people about them. So
I'm gonna sign
come
up for
hang
the
Yeah.
out.
newsletter today.
If you're in Orange
Yeah.
County, come hang
I'm gonna
out.
sign up right now.
Yeah, there you go.
If
And then
you're
you
in
can
other, if
roast
you're
our
somewhere
newsletter.
else, tell us where you want us to go next. Maybe we'll make a road
Yep.
trip and we'll do a
Yeah,
meetup where
come
you
over to
live.
North
Like, let's
Carolina.
go.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, there
thank
you
you
go.
guys so much for coming on. I love what you guys have going on right now and wish you the best of luck.
Cool.
Thank you,
Thanks,
man. Shout outs to the WAG pod. Thanks.
All right,
man.
see y'all.
See ya.
Bye.